Good evening and welcome to Live United. Live United is a program hosted by Monadnock United Way that highlights the agencies and programs that provide much needed services to people in the Monadnock region. Our guest tonight is Jim McLaughlin. He is the coordinator of the Monadnock Peer Respite Program at Monadnock Area Peer Support Agency. And welcome, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit more about Monadnock Area Peer Support Agency.
Sure. And I will probably always say MPS.
Sure.
Because that's a long title.
MPS sounds good to me.
Yeah, okay. It's an agency that provides support for people with mental health issues. We've been in Keene for about 20 years. I've only worked there for 3. And we're at 64 Beaver Street in Keene.
Great. And what kind of services does MPS provide?
Well, we operate under the umbrella of intentional peer support, which is different than a clinical service for people with mental health issues. It doesn't replace it. It's kind of a blend of the two. Instead of a clinical aspect, we use IPS, which means that we're there to form a relationship with our members and to support each other, versus a therapist who might say, well, you need to take this medication so you'll feel better. I deal with depression myself, and what I would do instead, if somebody is talking to me about their depression, I would share my experience, versus a therapist would not do that. So it's a mutual relationship where we get support from each other instead of telling someone what to do. We support them to move toward what they would like to have in their life.
Great, and I bet this peer-based model is very helpful for folks who might not be interested in seeing, the traditional medical approach to mental health issues.
I think so, yes. And everything we provide is free, and insurance is not needed. So if people are low income or no income, they can still get the support they need for their mental health issues. And we are the only peer support agency in the Monadnock region.
Wow, that's so important. And you serve the entire Monadnock region?
Yes. We even have a van that we use to pick up people in the morning and then take them home when we close. And that helps break the isolation that a lot of people in rural areas around Keene might feel if they don't have transportation or don't have money to come in. We will bring them and they can spend the day with us, and then we take them home.
Accessibility is such an important part of a mental health service, especially in a rural area like ours where isolation is unfortunately very common.
It is.
Yeah. So I know that you're the coordinator of the Monadnock Peer Respite Program, which is a special program with under the umbrella of MPS.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Well, the Peer Respite is, and again, we're the only one for the Monadnock region. There are 3 respite programs in the state, maybe 4. I always lose track of the numbers. We are here in Keene. There's one in Nashua, Claremont, and up north in Berlin. And I always mispronounce Berlin. So we provide, and again, it's free. Insurance is not required, and it's an alternative to hospitalization, we hope. As you know, and most people know, funding for mental health care has dwindled, and the unit at the hospital here closed last year. So people have very long waits for mental health care, for hospital beds, if that's what they need. There was a story recently on NHPR about a young man who went into the emergency room seeking help for his mental health concerns, and he spent 14 days in the emergency room with his father. His father just had a chair to sit in. He was in a bed, and there was a guard posted outside the door while he waited for a hospital bed, probably in Concord. And later in that program, too, they also talked about someone shared that someone was in the hospital emergency room for 648 hours waiting for a bed.
Wow.
That's the resources are very limited in New Hampshire, and it's probably going to be less if funding is not improved. And the staffing is difficult. That's partly why the hospital closed their unit. There wasn't enough staff to provide the services. So what we can provide is an alternative to hospitalization, an alternative to that long wait People can be in respite for up to 7 days. They get 24/7 support from people who are trained in intentional peer support or in peer respite, or both, mostly both.
And what kind of facility does the peer respite program take place in?
It's at our house. It's again on 64 Beaver Street. It's an old house. It has a barn attached to it, like many houses here in New England have. We have 2 spaces there. One space is in the front of the house on the 2nd floor. It's a pretty good, large bedroom with a little sitting room that's attached to that space. People who are in that respite space have to go downstairs and through the house to use the kitchen and the bathroom. The respite space in our barn is on the 2nd floor, and it has a little kitchenette, a private bath, and a private room. So they don't have to go in and out of the house to access that, the kitchen or the bathroom. Many people who are in this space, though, do want to be in the house with the other members while we're open. But people also have the opportunity to spend some time alone, if that's what they want to do, to take a break from what their concerns are.
Sure. So it sounds like MPS operates within pretty regular business hours, but the peer respite program is a 24/7 program for if and when people need that?
Yes. We're during the hours that MPS is open, it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 to 5, Wednesdays 11 to 7, and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So during those open hours, whoever is in respite, we refer to people in respite as a guest. The guest has full access to everything that MPS does. All of our groups, we have groups like depression, bipolar, survivors of suicide attempts, trauma survivors. We volunteer at the Humane Society weekly. They went this morning to hang out with the pets there. We take people weekly to the community kitchen so they can get a box of food, and then to pharmacies for their medication, and usually to Market Basket for shopping for the week. And there we have the only LGBTQ support group in the state, the PSA support group. With dual recovery. So people can attend all those groups and be part of the community if they want to. Once MPS is closed, there's someone with them overnight, and that person has been trained in respite and will spend time with the person giving them support.
And you spoke a little bit about MPS's support groups, and I just wanted to say I'm a recipient of the Butterfly Bulletin, which is the newsletter that comes out. It's monthly.
Yes.
And I'm totally blown away by the number and variety of support groups that MPS offers, and just totally that peer support based model, which is so important. And so kudos to MPS for their wide variety of important offerings.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you get the newsletter. I meant to bring one because I forget all the groups we have because there's so many. But it's on the back page of our newsletter, and that changes as we add things and move things around, so people can keep track of if the groups have changed any of the scheduled times. That's
great. That's great. It's a very good publication.
Oh, thanks.
So back to the peer respite program, I was wondering where, so for the peer respite program and actually for MPS as a whole, where does the funding come from to run these important programs?
Most of our money comes from the state. And we get money from United Way. It's a big part of our budget. And without United Way, we would not be able to do the things we are able to do. So I appreciate the support very much that we get.
Of course, and we're very happy to support this. So with the peer respite program, I'm wondering if you have any, if you could share any type of challenges you might have been experiencing, and on the flip side of that, any successes that might have come out of the program, of course maintaining confidentiality for the guests.
Sure, sure. Well, challenges are that we cannot be a homeless shelter. We will take people who are homeless, but not because they're homeless. Homelessness and hunger are 2 issues that concern me very much, but we're just not funded for that.
Sure.
And I hope that eventually people are not homeless. But we have had people who are homeless. It's very hard for me to let someone stay for 7 days and know that they don't have any place else to go and watch them just have to leave again. But that could be a reason to be there. And I forgot the question.
Challenges with,
okay.
with the peer respite program, and then on the flip side, successes.
Everyone, from my experience with respite, who's been in respite, has not want to leave. They want to stay. Their experience is really helpful for them. And most people would prefer to be in respite rather than a locked hospital facility where they can't come and go as they please. Respite is not locked. People can keep their job if they're working, all the appointments they might have, and visit friends or family. Come and go for a walk if they want to in the middle of the night. And so that's really different than a hospital setting. So people are there to seek support for what they want, what their hopes are, what their needs are, and what their wishes are, so that they can feel better mentally about themselves and their family and friends.
And does the respite program provide resource referral perhaps to other agencies? So say a person, a guest at the respite program is in need of support for finding food or housing stability, that sort of thing.
Sure.
Is there a referral program?
Well, we have, it's in the newsletter also, an extensive list of what's available in the area for housing and food. We have a limited amount of food at the house and for respite and our members. Not a whole lot, but people have access to what we have available. And people can also, who are in respite, can bring their own food and prepare meals there in the kitchen. Since we're on Beaver Street, we're close to the market there, and people can walk pretty easily to get stuff to eat there too.
That's great.
And the kitchen is not, the community kitchen is not too far away from Beaver Street. And I think they serve meals every weekday at dinner time, so people could go there also.
That's right, that's right. So very good central location for people to have access on foot or otherwise the services that they might need.
Right.
Do you find that you receive or take in guests from other towns in the area who might not be able to access these services outside of Keene?
Sure, that's a great question. We will take anyone into respite who's a New Hampshire resident and 18 years and older.
Okay.
And we also have a car separate from our van, and we can go pick up people if they do not have a way to get into Keene. The other respite programs also have cars and will transport people. So after 7 days, we can transport them home after the stay.
And so this program isn't for families, you would say, not for children?
Right, right. I was at a meeting last week in Dublin, and someone asked me about family respite. An individual from a family could come in and stay, but not the entire family. Sure. Family members could come and visit, hang out, participate in the program, but not as a family in respite.
That's good to know. So where do we see the respite program going? Does MPS have a plan for growing the program at all, or other plans to keep it stable and going on for a while?
Well, we certainly want to let the community know we're there. Even though MPS has been around for about 20 years, a lot of people don't know about us.
Right.
And Respite has only been there for about a year. So what we're trying to do is, through a medium like this, to get the word out that we're available, that we're free, and we have availability for 2 people. Probably in the space we are in now, we couldn't grow beyond 2 people. It's possible if we build some rooms or make space, but right now we can only take 2 people at a time.
Well, it's great to hear that you're looking to spread the word and definitely get more of knowledge about this really important service out in our community. I was wondering, does the peer respite program or MPS have volunteer needs or perhaps donation needs? Are there supplies that the respite program could use to help maintain the facility, that sort of thing?
Yes, to all of that. We can always take volunteers to just be there, to be with our members, to be with someone who's in respite as support, as an extra voice for them, someone else to share their life with. We do accept donations as well. We are in need of a small refrigerator, like a dorm refrigerator for one of our spaces. Nice things to put on the wall, new sheets and towels, perhaps some rugs for the floor, those kind of things. But anything that people are willing to donate, we would be more than happy to take.
Right, especially those items that turn a house into a home in a way.
Right.
And
Yeah, it is an old house, and we're trying to make it comfortable and as safe for people to be there as we can. In an old farmhouse with a barn attached to it.
Well, that's great, Jim. And is there anything else about the Respite program that you would love to share with the audience? Any upcoming events or other major news items that you'd like to broadcast?
Sure. Well, there's some things I failed to mention.
Oh, sure.
That we do not need referrals. Sometimes agencies around the city will refer people over to us, but anyone can walk in at any time without an appointment. You just open the door and there you are. And when people come in who are not known to us, someone greets them right away and welcomes them and helps them feel comfortable. So, and we also provide or share a community lunch every Thursday. So we would welcome people from the community to come in and have lunch with us and get to meet our members and get to see the house. If no one's in Respite, we will show them the rooms. If someone is in Respite, we will get the guest permission before we open that space up to other people. But even if people do not come for our lunch, just stop by. Get to know us. We want people to meet us and be part of the community along with us. So anytime, either in person or on the phone.
Wow, it sounds like a very inviting organization.
I hope so.
Providing really important services. So great. Thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate you coming on the
you're
show
welcome.
tonight. And audience, I hope you enjoyed hearing from Jim McLaughlin about the Monadnock Peer Respite Program at Monadnock Area Peer Support Agency. They're located at 64 Beaver Street and would welcome a guest or a donation anytime. So again, I'm Nikki Sauber with Monadnock United Way. I thank you for being here and tuning in to Live United tonight. Remember to give, to advocate, to volunteer. Have a good night.